Mazuma TV back with some more boxing. All right, guys, let's talk about a personal question I had for the YouTube boxing community, the Lions Den boxing community, etc. I was watching the press conference for James DeGale, Badu Jack, the Jose Pedraza, and Gervonta Take Davis card. And, Mayweather promotes Badu Jack and Gervonta. And he had some interviews. He was conducting some interviews with various boxing sources. And when being interviewed, he brought up Terence Crawford. Now, I don't know. I forgot how Terence Crawford was brought up in the mix of all the questions. But he was talking about the other side being top ranking them, who Mayweather was formerly signed with and signed with initially in the beginning of his career. And he says that Terence Crawford is a hell of a fighter. He could box. He's a really skilled, high caliber fighter. This is what Mayweather said. But he says that the other side does a bad job with promoting him, being Bob Arum, being that Terence Crawford is signed with Bob Arum. And, I thought about it, and I was like, would he do better if he was on PBC, if he was with the Al Heyman squad, along with Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and so on. And, I was thinking about it, and when I looked at when I was looking at all the other fighters and what they've been doing and how they've been keeping their name relevant, it's like I think me personally, I think Terence Crawford would do a lot better if he was on PBC, and I think he would be a bigger name in the sport of boxing and would catch ears on the casual side of the boxing fans if he was on PBC. Now, I thought about it and I was thinking of ways, and I just think that PBC's ways of marketing their fighters are a lot better than what Top Rank does with their fighters. I feel like with Top Rank, they just do a press conference, then they'll do a phone press conference, then they'll do a final press conference, then a weigh-in, and then boom, there's the fight. Or they'll do the fight game with Jim Lampley and he'll talk about it, or they'll do a Hey Harold section on HBO. And all of those things are cool. Those are good ways of promoting their fighters, but I feel like that's not enough, And I was thinking about what PBC does, and I was thinking if Terence Crawford would be in those situations, and I just feel like it would be more beneficial for him in general. Now, at the end of the day, Terence Crawford could do whatever the fuck he wants. He could stay with Top Rank for the rest of his life. I really don't give a fuck. That's his personal business. But I was thinking about it, and I feel like PBC would be better for him, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Now, what PBC is famously known for is being on free TV. A lot of people find that to be weird, and a lot of people don't fuck with PBC just because of that. I mean, me, honestly, it's real convenient for me, and it's very convenient for anybody who has a TV, so I don't understand why they would complain about it while they're paying for a subscription with HBO. Now, a lot of people don't have the finances to be able to keep up with a monthly payment for HBO, and a lot of people will cut it off, and they won't be able to tune into these fights that Terence Crawford is a part of, while they could go on Spike TV that's on basic cable, and they could watch Earl Spence beat the shit out of somebody, or they could watch Keith Thurman do a big fight with Sean Porter on free TV on CBS, and these things like that. I feel like if Terence Crawford was to face a solid 140-pound fighter like Felix Diaz, who is with PBC, and they'll put it on ESPN or Spike TV or anywhere in general, and I just feel like if he was on those TV networks, that he'll get a lot more exposure for the casual boxing fans. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, because the casual fans, even though they're not really knowledgeable in the sport, once they know your name, they know your name, and your name's going to spread all throughout whoever they're talking to, or whenever they feel like talking about boxing, they'll definitely bring up his name, and that's how Terence Crawford will be able to gain a reputation in a positive way and maintain his relevancy. When you keep yourself relevant, you're gonna keep you'll keep like a good reputation on your name, and the income is gonna keep coming in for your fights, and a lot of people would tune in to watch to see if you're really who people say you are. And not only that, but the fact that PBC is generous enough to give the fighters that are a part of PBC commentary jobs, I think that's pretty cool. You know, I've seen Sean Porter do commentary a couple of times. You know, Paulie Malignaggi is part of their commentary, who is also involved with PBC. I've seen Danny Garcia do some commentary. I've seen Earl Spence do some commentary. And I've even seen Keith Thurman do some commentary for the Danny Garcia fight last weekend. So they keep their fighters busy and they keep their fighters' name relevant. And I think that'll be definitely beneficial for Terence Crawford. I mean, Terence Crawford is a pretty humble dude. He really doesn't say much, but we've seen, based off his trash talk with Angel Garcia, which is one of my videos that I've posted, he speaks well enough to get his point across, you know. So I think he'll be good enough to speak on the sport of boxing, being that he's a part of it, and being that he's such a high caliber fighter. He probably has an outlook on boxing that guys who never put on gloves in their life won't have. So I think stuff like that would definitely get Terence Crawford's name out there. And, you know, even if he doesn't do commentary, PBC also does interviews. I've seen J-Rock twice do interviews before or after a fight has been done. You know, I seen J-Rock this weekend, since he's from Philly, and they were fighting at the Leacourt Center right down the block from where I live. J-Rock was getting interviewed right before. I'm not sure if it was before or after. I think it was before the Danny Garcia fight with Samuel Vargas. They was asking him about his upcoming fight with Jamal Charlo, who's also a PBC fighter, and they was asking him like how his training camp was going. You know, the usual questions, but the questions aren't the important thing. The fact that he's on TV where a lot of people are watching, free TV at that, and they showed his record and everything. I think they even showed his social media outlets and everything. Like little simple things like that definitely gets their fighters out there, would definitely attract fans' attention. And the fact that they'll see his record and see that he's 22-0, you know, undefeated records look really good to casual fans. They don't give a fuck who he fought. Just based off of the fact that he's undefeated, people are gonna pay attention to that and they're gonna feed into it. And then next thing you know, they're looking at his highlights on YouTube and they'll be like, oh, I like this guy. And then next thing you know, they're gonna be watching this fight coming up against Jamal Charlo. So things like that are definitely important. And I think that if Terence Crawford was to be a part of those beneficial things, I think his name would be out there so much more, especially since his name is tied with Pacquiao, and Bob Arum said he's willing to work with Al Haymon fighters. I think that would definitely be like a beneficial move for Terence Crawford to take. You know, in his city, he's already well known. He's selling out his arena in Omaha, so he's doing a pretty good job in his city, but being known internationally will be even more better. And you know, I just think that's just my personal opinion. I think he'll do better on PBC. But y'all let me know what y'all guys think about this. Would he do worse on PBC, or would it be the same shit regardless? Either way, let me know what y'all guys think about it in the comment section. This Mazuma TV, and we out of here.